Good evening, this is JCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghui Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. Kuki MLAs are centered to make arrangements for direct funding of development projects. BOSEM chairman announces plans to conduct HSLC exam early. Kuki women demand immediate arrest of Kurungamba Kuman amidst obstructions by Mera Paibis. News in detail. The 10 Kuki Zo MLAs in Manipur have urged the center to make interim arrangements for direct financing of development projects in the districts predominantly inhabited by the community. They say these arrangements should be in place pending final separations through a political settlement, as the state government has frozen all funds flow to these districts. The demand was made in a two-page memorandum to Prime Minister Narendra Modi after a silent sit-in by the 10 legislators at the Jantar Mantar in Delhi on Tuesday. The MLAs, 7 from the ruling BJP, 2 from the KPA, and 1 independent, were the first to raise the demand for a separate administrations for the Kuki Jos in Guwahati on May 12 last year. Vungsagin Valte, the BJP MLA from Thangminlen who was brutally assaulted by a mob in Meitei majority Imphal on May 4, attended the seat in protest in a wheelchair. He is yet to recover from the injuries. In their side memorandum to Modi, the legislators say that since the communalized state government has deprived our people of all development funds, we urge the central government to kindly make interim planning mechanism and budgetary arrangement to fund the much-needed development projects in the districts predominantly inhabited by our people, pending final separations through a political settlement. They urge the center to kindly consider routing funds for development projects for critical sectors like healthcare, education, roads, and water supply directly to the district authorities based on the recommendations of elected representatives from such districts. The reasons for seeking direct funding included the state's failure to recommend and its move to deliberately leave out the affected hill districts while dispersing funds under PM Divine, which seeks to provide super specialty and ensure specialty health care remote and hill districts infrastructure and equipment in Manipur amounting to 10,466.11 lakh. It cited how not a single road in the hill districts figured in the list of the recently approved constructions of 57 roads in Manipur, for which 201.5 crore has been sanctioned. The chairpersons of the Board of Secondary Education's Manipur, BOSEM, Akhamjoy Kumar, held a press conference to address concerns about the upcoming high school leaving certificate HSLC exams, which have been impacted by the ongoing turmoil in the state. BOSEM's officials assured that despite these challenges, the exams will be conducted on time, with results expected to be announced earlier than usual. He confirmed that the form fill-up process for the exams will begin on December 16. The exams are scheduled to take place in the second or third week of February 2025, with the board aiming to announce the results ahead of the usual timeline. He emphasized the importance of timely form submissions and urged school headmasters, guardians, and student leaders to cooperate in ensuring the process runs smoothly. Regarding the availability of textbooks, Joy Kumar clarified that the textbooks have already been dispatched and are currently stored in a warehouse. Relevant authorities can collect the books from there. He also discussed the implementations of National Education Policy, NEP, stating that BOSEM is attending conferences and workshops organized by the National Council of Educational Research and Training. During the press briefing, Professor Indrani Baduri, CEO and head of RACA, Parak, performance assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for his holistic development, informed that Akam Joy Kumar will resolve as the chairpersons for Assam, Mizoram, Manipur, and Meghalaya for Parak duties, including the creations of Holistic Progress Card. Akam Joy Kumar assured that the NEP will be implemented in stage, with the board accelerating the process to ensure progress in education. In response to ongoing controversy regarding his chairmanship of BOSEM, the current chairman clarified that no government order had been issued assigning him to any other position. He explained that after the call for fresh applications, he applied for the post and was subsequently selected as the chairman. He confirmed that he continues in the role as no alternative orders have been issued regarding the pan-down strike. A. Joy Kumar stated that the authorities will handle the matter appropriately. The Kuki Women's Organizations for Human Rights has issued a strong condemnation of the recent interference by the Mayra Paibis, who are accused of obstructing law enforcement agencies from arresting Korangamba Kumand, a criminal allegedly responsible for war crimes and gross violations of human rights against the Kukizo community. The organization claims that Kumand's actions, which include genocidal violence and the abuse of Indian citizens' rights, have been facilitated by powerful figures such as Manipur CM Biren Singh, titular king Leisemba Sanajauba, and insurgents groups based in the state's Valley region. In a statement released today, the KWOHR called for Kumand's immediate arrest, emphasizing the grave threat he poses to the safety and security of citizens, particularly women and children. The organizations described the violent legacy of his actions, which have left many Kukizo women widowed, children orphaned, and victims of sexual violence. The trauma inflicted by Kumand and his associates continues to devastate the community, and the KWOHR insists that his freedom is an affront to the pain and suffering of the victims. The KWOHR also pointed to what it describes as clear evidence of collaborations between Kumand's group, Arambai Tingle, and the Mayra Paibis. The organization cites social media posts by Kumand himself that appears to instruct the Mayra Paibis to block the efforts of paramilitary forces trying to apprehend him. The KWOHR asserts that this complicity, if ignored by central authorities, would render the arrest of Kumand an empty gesture, undermining the pursuit of justice. Further complicating the situations, the KWOHR highlights the influential network of support for Kumand's group within Manipur, particularly from high-profile figures such as Biren Singh and Leisemba Sanajauba. This, the KWOHR argues, ensures that those responsible for crimes like Kumand are shielded from accountability. The lack of actions from the National Investigations Agency (NIA) in pursuing Kumand is seen as deeply insulting to the victims, perpetuating their suffering and undermining the rule of law. The KWOHR has called on central agencies, including the NIA, to act swiftly and decisively to arrest Kumand and bring justice to the victims. In action, the organization's warns will not only perpetuate the trauma of those affected, but will also damage India's global reputation as a defender of human rights. In their final demand, the KWOHR urged the central government and law enforcement agencies to demonstrate their competence and responsibility in handling this case, emphasizing that words alone are insufficient. The time for actions, they declare, is now. Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh on Thursday said it would take time to find a permanent solution to the state's ongoing crisis as the situation has become fragile. He made the statement during a ceremony in Imphal to commemorate Nupilan. He acknowledged the efforts of both the central and state government to find lasting solutions, but cautions that the situation's fragility requires patience. The state and central governments have been putting all the effort to bring a permanent solution. However, bringing a solution will take time as the situations have become chronic and fragile, Singh said. He also addressed the reimposition of Armed Forces Special Powers Act in 6 police stations areas, confirming that a request for its review and withdrawal had been made to the central government. Singh appealed to the public for cooperation in restoring peace. The annual Nupilan commemorations honors Manipuri women's resistance against British colonialism in 1904 and 1939. Singh stressed their bravery, linking it to historical events like the 7-year devastations, 1819–1826, and contemporary issues concerning public safety. He praised their contributions across various sectors, including social, economic, artistic, cultural, hospitality, and sports. Singh further stressed the state government's Ima Nongthanglei Ma Yai Pating Ba scheme, which offers financial aid to unemployed women over 40. He also mentioned the central government's Women's Reservations Bill 2023 and state initiatives such as scholarships for civil service, coaching, professional entrance exam preparations, and the establishment of district institutes of education and training. Responding to questions about Myanmar refugees, Singh refuted criticism regarding their treatment. Those who are criticizing should come here and see the ground realities. There are no differences. Refugees are being treated under the guidelines of the United Nations and the supervision of the government of India and the government of Manipur. Equal treatment is being given, he said. The event included paying tribute to Nupilan statue at the Nupilan Memorial Complex in Imphal. Forest, Environment and Climate Change Minister T.S. Biswajit Singh, who was also present at the event, stressed the annual commemoration's significance in honoring the courage and sacrifice of women freedom fighters. He described it as a moment of pride for all Manipuris. Congress MP A.B. Mul Akoizam has called for national attention to the ongoing crisis in Manipur, asserting that it is a national issue, not merely a local one. Glad to hear such voices to make the deaf government of India hear the plight of the people of Manipur. Akoizam tweeted on December 12, applauding Deputy Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, Gaurav Gogoi, for raising the issue in Parliament. Gogoi, speaking during 0 hour in the Lok Sabha on December 11, described the situation in Manipur as a grave humanitarian crisis. He criticized that the government for focusing on unrelated issues like George Soros while failing to address the violence and instability in the state. This government, in order to hide its failure in Manipur, is using George Soros as a shield, Gogoi said, sparking heated exchanges in the House. The Congress leader highlighted the devastating impact of the ongoing violence of the states on the state's economy and infrastructure. Extortion is rampant, the economy is shattered, and public services are collapsing. Unfortunately, there has been a rise in the illegal trade of arms, drugs, and timber, he stated, painting a grim picture of life in Manipur. Gogoi also raised concerns over the state's education and healthcare systems, noting that schools and colleges remain closed and thousands of students are at risk of losing their academic year. Healthcare facilities have been damaged or destroyed. Fear and uncertainty have gripped the population, he added, urging the government to take immediate action. In a direct challenge to the ruling BJP, Gogoi demanded answers from the Prime Minister and Home Minister Amit Shah. The people of Manipur not only want to know when Prime Minister Modi will visit the state and when the Home Minister will address Parliament on the steps needed to resolve the situations, he said. Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi on Wednesday said Manipur was in the throes of a grave humanitarian crisis and demanded that Home Minister Amit Shah make a statement in Parliament on the issue. Raising the matter during the zero hour in the Lok Sabha, Gogoi slammed the BJP for raising the George Soros issue in Parliament, contending that the ruling party was doing so to hide its failures in Manipur. The entire state is in a humanitarian crisis, and instead of finding a solution, the government is sending paramilitary forces and enforcing the outspa. This is not addressing the cycle of violence, the Congress leader said. He said the people of Manipur only want to know when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit the state and when will the Home Minister apprise the House of the steps required to resolve the situations in the state. This government, in order to hide its failure in Manipur, is using George Soros as a seal, Gogoi said, triggering a sharp reactions from the Treasury benches. The Congress leader said extortion has become rampant in Manipur. The economy has been shattered and basic public services were on the brink of collapse. Unfortunately, there has been a rise in the illegal trade of arms, drugs and timber. The impact on the lives of ordinary people has been devastating, he said. Gogoi said schools and colleges were closed and the education of thousands of students was at risk. Healthcare facilities have been damaged or destroyed. Fear and uncertainty have gripped the population, the Congress leader said. Gogoi's reference to Soros prompted Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal to counter by claiming links between the Congress leadership and certain Soros-backed outfits allegedly working to destabilize India. India has stepped up work on fencing the 1,643-kilometer porous border with Myanmar, which will be completed by the Border Roads Organization's BRO in phases over the next 10 years, a TOI report stated. The ongoing ambitious projects will entail around Rs 20,000 crore being spent on the fence itself and another 11,000 crore on constructions of over 60 border roads. As per survey conducted by government agencies, over 1,500 kilometers of fencing, which include 300 kilometers of electric fencing, is required for effective management of the India-Myanmar border, as well as ensuring security and stability of Northeast region, Army sources told TOI. The fencing comes at a time when there are still no signs of normalcy returning to conflict-torn Manipur, where over 250 people have been killed in ethnic violence between Kuki and Metis communities since May last year. While over 60,000 people have been internally displaced, less than half of the around 6,000 weapons looted in the state have been recovered. The volatile situations in Myanmar amid the fighting between the military and the armed opposition outfits over the last 1 year, subsequent to the coup in February 2021, has also led to over 31,000 people fleeing and seeking refuge in India. Myanmar's ongoing instability has further aggravated the situations with the surge in smuggling, human trafficking, and movement of armed infiltrators. Drugs worth Rs 1,125 crore, for instance, have been seized along the border in the last 6-7 months, a source said. Some communities in Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh, all of which border Myanmar, have however strongly opposed the proposed fence as well as scrapping of free movement regime, which allowed people residing along the border to venture 16 kilometers into each other's territory without visas earlier this year. Some experts have criticized the costly move, stressing it will cause hardships to people who share ethnic ties across the border, as well as disrupt closer connectivity, trade, and people-to-people ties. The Defense and Security Establishment, however, contends the fencing does not intend to restrict the movement of civilians or sever cultural and familial connections on either side of the border. A network of gates with biometric systems along the fence is being planned to allow cross-border movement while ensuring security. The locations of these entry and exit points will be decided through collaborative consultations with local residents, another source said. The fencing's primary objective is to curb the movement of armed groups, as well as stem the smuggling of weapons, drugs, human trafficking, and illegal immigration, he added. The success of the 10-kilometer fencing completed in Murray, Manipur underlines the project's potential to improve both security and trade management. The fencing will also regulate and boost legitimate trade, ensuring economic benefits for the local communities while eliminating the adverse impact of illegal trade, he said. In an outpouring of grief, thousands gathered to mourn the demise of Thangminlen Kipgen, a four-time member of the Legislative Assembly MLA from Kangpokpi Assembly constituency and a former minister of Manipur. The 71-year-old veteran politician and ex-president of National People's Party (NPP) passed away after a prolonged battle with cancer at his native village, Haipi, in Kangpokpi district. Kipgen, a prominent leader among the Kuki people, dedicated decades to public service, championing the rights and development of tribal communities. His demise marks the end of an era for his followers and admirers, who described him as a pillar of leadership and an advocate for peace and unity. The sorrow of his passing resonated deeply across the southern hills, with thousands congregating at his residence in Haipi village to pay their final tribute. A condolence ceremony was held throughout the nights and the following day, reflecting the deep admirations and love he commanded among his people. Kipgen was laid to rest with full honors at the Haipi village cemetery, where mourners gathered to bid farewell to a leader who left an indelible mark on Manipur's political and social landscape. Born on July 7, 1953, in Haipi village, Southern Hills, Kangpokpi district, Thangminlen Kipgen had an illustrious political career spanning from 1995 to 2011. During this period, he held several significant positions in the Manipur Legislative Assembly, representing the Kangpokpi Assembly constituencies for 4 consecutive terms. He made his maiden entry into the 6th Manipur Legislative Assembly in 1995 on the Manipur People's Party (MPP) ticket and served as a Minister of Power in 1998. Over the years, he was re-elected multiple times, representing various political parties, including the Nationalist Congress Party (NCP), the Federal Party of Manipur (FPM), and the National People's Party (NPP). Kipgen held key positions such as the Minister for Horticulture and Soil Conservation and Chairman of the Hill Areas Committee during his tenure. As the former president of the National People's Party (NPP) and chief of Haipi village, Kipgen was recognized for his dedications to improving education and promoting youth welfare in the region. He actively supported initiatives like awarding scholarships to meritorious students and facilitating youth empowerment programs. His tenure also focused on enhancing local infrastructure such as roads and community facilities to improve connectivity and the standard of living in Kangpokpi. Additionally, Kipgen was a consistent advocate for addressing social issues, including drug abuse, through awareness campaigns. His leadership emphasized harmony and development in Kangpokpi, earning him respect not only within his constituency, but also across the state and nation. Throughout his career, Kipgen remained actively involved in addressing developmental and welfare issues, leaving a lasting impact on Manipur's political landscape. His legacy as a leader, community advocate, and family man will continue to inspire generations to come. The ongoing Zangna Dopna project, which was entrusted upon Kuki Women Organizations for Human Rights (KWOHR) by the Kuki MP Manipur, is going on smoothly till today. So far, 3 phases of the project have been completed, and the KWOHR is ready to announce the details of the 4th phase of the Zangna Dopna. For the month of December, the following villages have submitted their monthly contribution: B. Gosenveng, B. Paisam, Monglin Pai, SL Tabang Pai, More Block, Battle, Thangminlen as Tol Zang, Ti Phai Zang as Mun Num, Tui Bong, Khao Pi Zang, Bi Veng Num, Hil Zang, Kip Mun Num, as Muldung, Pisga, King King, Selbu Zang, Muldung, Lei Zang Si Mun Kot, Kipgen Veng, New Phai Sat, Bi Salon, Sung Zao Kupi, Ke Thangminlen, E Ebenezer, Munapai, Teimu Sangai Kot, respectively. The four fests will be conducted on 21st of December 2024, but the venue and program details will be updated by KWOHR respective representatives later. KWOHR extends its appreciations and respects to all mothers of Kuki nations who generously contributed for the success of this project till today. It also thanks all mothers for their collaborations and support. It also requested those who are yet to submit their monthly contribution to submit it in the earliest concerning the upcoming project. As we all know, the Zang Nadopna project aims to deliver help to the families of all the martyrs who died in the current genocide perpetrated against us by the majority community of the state. The Union Cabinet on Thursday approved One Nation, One Election, sources said. The government is likely to bring a comprehensive bill on the same during the next week, amid the ongoing winter sessions of Parliament. The Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) has issued a 3-line whip to all its MPs, asking them to be present in the House on December 13 and 14 for discussions on some important legislative business, sources said. On Wednesday, Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan made a strong pitch for One Nation, One Elections and contended that frequent pulls were creating hurdles in the nation's progress. Addressing an event in Kurukshetra as part of the ongoing International Gita Festival, Chauhan said the country is moving ahead rapidly under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A glorious, prosperous and powerful India is being built under the leadership of the Prime Minister. Soon, India will become the Vishwaguru, world leader in front of our eyes. There is no doubt about it, and the whole world knows it, he said. But there is one hurdle in India's progress and development, which is frequent elections. Any other thing may be happening or not in the country, but elections preparations continue for 12 months or 5 years, he said. When Lok Sabha elections get over, assembly elections come. Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Maharashtra and Jharkhand are done. Now Delhi assembly polls are coming, Chauhan said. Moving ahead with its One Nation, One Elections plan, the government in September accepted the recommendations of the high-level committee for holding simultaneous polls for the Lok Sabha, state assemblies and local bodies in a fast manner. The United States of America, US, seem to have become a safe haven for criminals and terrorists wanted in Delhi, as government data revealed that over 1/3 of India's wanted fugitives are taking shelter there. The data presented by the Union Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) on the floor of Lok Sabha revealed that 65 of the total 178 fugitives against whom extradition requests have been made are living in the U.S. This includes David Coleman, Hetlate, and Tahawar Rana, both Laskar operatives and wanted by Indian agencies in connection with 26/11 terror attack case. Union Ministers of State MOS for Home Nityanand Rai informed the Lok Sabha on Tuesday that 65 of 178 pending extradition requests by investigative agencies for criminals and terrorists are under considerations by the U.S. government, with whom a treaty was signed in 1997. However, he pointed out that data from 2002-2018 show that only 11 requests have been honored by the U.S. administrations. It is to be noted that among those requests which have not yet been honored is the extradition of David Coleman Hitley. However, Officials in the law enforcement agency says that the extradition process of Tahawur Rana, another key suspect in Mumbai terror attack case, is in its final stages. The minister said, as per records from the Ministry of External Affairs, 65 requests for extraditions of fugitive criminals made by India are under considerations of US authorities. He went on to add that the data compiled for the past 5 years shows that only 23 requests have been met. According to MSA, the government has been making concerted diplomatic efforts to extradite others suspected of criminal and/or terrorist activities. To date, India has signed extradition treaties with 48 countries or territories and entered into agreements with 12 countries. Rice said the government is looking to conclude more such treaties with as many countries as possible to ensure fugitives do not escape justice. He said those who had shot refuse in the US are wanted in cases of murder, extortions, child abuse, and financial fraud. Prominent names include gangsters like Satindarjit Singh alias Goldie Bur and Anmol Bisnoy, whose authorities believe masterminded the killing of Punjabi singer Sidhu Moosewala in 2022 and that of former Maharashtra politician Baba Siddique in October this year. Anmol was arrested in the US last month. He is accused of plotting and executing terror attacks and the targeted killings of prominent personalities from the film and business world. The NIA had added him to its most wanted list and offered a reward of Rs 10 lakh for his arrest. Syria's new prime minister said the Islamist-led alliance that ousted President Bashar al-Assad will guarantee minority rights in an interview published on Wednesday, also calling on the millions who fled the war to return home. Assad fled Syria after a lightning offensive spearheaded by the Islamist Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and his allies, which brought to a spectacular end 5 decades of brutal rule by his clan. Syrians across the country and around the world erupted in celebrations after enduring a stifling area during which anyone suspected of dissent could be thrown into jail or killed. With Assad's overthrow plunging Syria into the unknown, its new rulers have sought to assure religious minorities that they will not repress them. They have also pledged justice for the victims of Assad's iron-fisted rule, with HTS leader Abu Mohammed al-Zolani vowing that officials involved in torturing detainees will not be pardoned. We will not pardon those involved in torturing detainees, says Zolani, now using his real name Ahmed al-Sara, urging countries to hand over any of those criminals who may have fled so that they can be brought to justice. In the corridors of Damascus main hospitals, thousands of families gathered to try to find the bodies of loved ones captured years ago by the authorities. Where are our children? Women cried out as they grasped at the walls, desperate for closure after their years-long ordeal. Sunni Muslim HTS is rooted in Syria's presence of Al-Qaeda and is proscribed as a terrorist organization by many Western governments, though it has sought to moderate its rhetoric. Precisely because we are Islamists, we will guarantee the rights of all people and all sects in Syria. Mohammed al-Bashar, whom the rebels appointed as the transitional head of government, told Italian daily Corriere della Sera. Bashar, whose appointment was announced on Tuesday, it tasked with heading the multi-ethnic, multi-confessional country until March 1. After decades of rule by the Assad, Syrians now face the enormous challenge of charting a new course as they emerge from nearly 14 years of war. In Aleppo, Syria's second city and the first major one captured by the rebels in their offensive, shopkeeper Ramadan Dali 70 said that we are starting to feel safe. Juman Kilali 40 said that there is still a lot of uncertainty over even the most basic aspects of life, like school for her 10-year-old child and soaring prices. Everything is so expensive, she said. In the Assas home village, Kardaha, the tomb of former leader's father, was set alight. AFP footage shows, with rebel fighters in fatigues and young men watching it burn. The Baath party of the post-president announced it would suspend its work in all its forms until further notice and hand over assets to authorities. Syria's war has killed more than 5 lakh people and forced half of the populations to flee their homes, with 6 million of them seeking refuge abroad. In his interview with Corriere della Sera, Bashir called on Syrians abroad to return to their homeland. Syria is now a free country that has earned its pride and dignity. Come back, he said. The main international airport in Damascus, closed since the rebels overran the capital, will reopen in the next few days. Its director, Anis Falot, told AFP. Bashir says Syria's new rulers will be willing to work with anyone so long as they did not defend Assad. The United Nations envoy for Syria, Guillaume Pedersen, urged that inclusive process, telling AFP that his biggest concern is that the transition will create new contradictions in the matter that could lead to new civil strife. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the world body was totally committed to supporting a smooth transition of power. Assad was brought by Russia, where he reportedly fled, as well as Iran and Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group. On Wednesday, the Kremlin said it wanted to see stabilizations in Syria soon, as it criticized Israel over hundreds of airstrikes it conducted on its neighbor over the past few days. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Watch monitors say that Israeli airstrikes on Wednesday had targeted sites belonging to Assad's military in the coastal Latakia and Turkish provinces. Israeli war plans continue to destroy what remains of Syria's military arsenal for the 4th consecutive days since the fall of the former regime, the Britain-based monitor said. In a significant development, the Revolutionary Joint Forces in Burma have successfully captured 2 strategic military bases, the Elephant Room and Tree Mountain Camp in the Farpun districts of Karen State. The Southern Military Regions of National Unity Government's Ministry of Defense announced that the bases were completely conquered on December 7 and 11. According to reports, the Elephant Army camp was seized by joint operations involving the Southern Military Region, No. 2 War Division, Kray National Liberations Army, People's Defense Army, Burma People's Liberations Army, and FFD. Similarly, the Tree Mountain military base was attacked by Karen National Liberations Army, KNLA, and allied Revolutionary Cooperative Forces on December 11. The Revolutionary Joint Forces have reportedly captured large weapons including 120mm and 81mm artillery from the seized bases. These bases are strategically important, controlling the Parfun Command Road communications, and their capture is seen as a significant blow to the military council. That development comes as the conflict in Burma continues to escalate, with various ethnic armed groups and revolutionary forces fighting against the military council. The capture of these key bases is likely to have significant implications for the balance of power in the region. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.